Stream Elements, H1 Nautic 0 Verkil is now live. Streaming Splitgate, Stream Streak 265 plus Splitgate Streak 630 plus come in and say hi.
Read that.
Hey, Jason!
Matt? What are you doing?
I'm just, you know...
Oh my goodness, are you... No, man, don't...
No, I'm just...
You have so
Having-
much to live for! Don't!
Hey.
Don't do it!
Hey, is everything okay, dude?
It's Matt.
Listen, I'm not... I'm just sitting here,
No,
man.
Matt, listen. No, stop what you're doing, and you don't have to do this, Matt. No. Listen, you are a beautiful man, Matt. Stop. Beautiful. Just stop, Matt, please. You are good. You're good.
Thank you. But listen, Stace, I'm fine. Nothing is happening.
Honey? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Okay. Sweetie, I love you. Please don't do this.
I'm not doing anything, honey.
If this is because I spent $2,000 on shoes last month, I am so sorry.
I was not aware of that.
I know, but it's no reason to do this.
I'm not doing anything.
Don't you say that. You're doing something. What about your job?
Yeah, but what about your car?
Huh? Yeah. Huh?
That's not my car, it's that one.
Man, I can see why he's starting to do this.
I heard that.
5 minutes remaining.
See? I mean, your hearing is amazing. Yeah.
Wow,
That's
honey,
something to live for. Yeah. 20/20 hearing.
Yes. Honey, Matt, oh my sweet baby
Mom?
boy. Matt, please don't do this to me. I couldn't bear it.
Why are you here? You live in Chicago.
I came as soon as I heard.
Heard from who?
Double kill.
Oh, sorry, Matt. That was me. I've been live tweeting this whole thing.
Please, Matt, I know I wasn't the greatest mother.
You were a wonderful mother.
No, I'm not. You remember your pen pal in high school, Kelly?
Yeah?
That was me.
What?
I wanted to make you feel good about yourself. I mean, you didn't have any friends, like, at all.
Mom, please
And then
don't.
when you told Kelly that you loved her, I knew that I had to stop writing you because it was pretty weird.
Please.
But I talked to a therapist, and he told me that it's perfectly normal for a son to feel that way about his mother.
Mom, please stop talking.
My Twitter is blowing up. I'm getting so many retweets.
Look, will you all please just stop? I am fine. Or at least I was until you all came here.
Don't do this, Matt. Don't do it.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just eating a sandwich.
That's what we're talking about. Don't eat the Arby's melt. It's not worth it.
Worth it. We could go on a mother son outing.
All right.
Kill. Victory.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell us what you had for lunch in the comments below. I think that once we read through them all, we'll realize that we should reevaluate our diets.
I got 3 without moving.
So the Supreme Court is considering an emergency application against New York's new concealed carry law that also put in place ammunition restrictions. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think restrictions on ammunition and their purchase is clearly unconstitutional, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also want to make a quick announcement. A lot of you guys are familiar that a couple years back we did the Armed in May event in San Bernardino at Route 66 Shooting Sports Park. This year they're going to be holding their annual Range Expo. I'm going to be attending again. Reno May is going to be there. I believe Mike Glover's going to be there. And it's always an amazing time. I'm glad I get to come back this year and get to share it with you guys again and meet you guys again. The event's going to be taking place on October 7th through 8th. I will leave a link down below to Route 66 and their website. You do need to RSVP because there's going to be limited space and you need to essentially reserve your spot. So again, I would love to see so many of you guys out there. It was so much fun the last time we got to do it. And again, I'm really looking forward to it. There's gonna be a ton of vendors and all the proceeds for the event go directly to two-way organizations that are fighting for our rights here in California. I believe last year they raised about $70,000 for CRPA and then also FPC. So it would be amazing if we could up that number, get more attendance this year, and also raise more money for the two-way cause here in California. So again, link's gonna be down below and I would love to see you guys there. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video, we're going to be discussing a challenge to New York's new concealed carry law, the CCIA, and also some of the ammunition restrictions that they put in place through that law. The case we're going to be talking about in this video is called Gazzola v. Hochul. This case involves a challenge to the state of New York's new CCIA law, which was passed in direct defiance to the Supreme Court's recent decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. More specifically, the current emergency application that's in front of Justice Thomas in the Supreme Court has to do with the new ammunition restrictions that were put in place through the CCIA. The Gazzola case focuses on the impact that the CCIA has on gun dealers and then also purchasers of ammunition. These businesses argue that the CCIA is unconstitutional because it violates the Second Amendment and also the Supreme Court's recent decision in Bruin. The businesses argue that they are a critical component to the right to keep and bear arms, and that the CCIA attempted to remove them out of existence, along with putting in place unconstitutional restrictions on the purchase of ammunition. This whole lawsuit sprung up as a result to the Supreme Court's recent decision in Bruin. In Bruin, the Supreme Court struck down New York's May-issue CCW licensing scheme, finding that it was inconsistent with this nation's history and tradition. One of the primary findings of the Bruin decision was that the government bears the burden to prove that their restrictions are based in the history and tradition of our nation. However, despite that decision, New York rushed through the Concealed Carry Improvement Act, also known as the CCIA, which made the permit scheme even worse than the one that existed prior to Bruin. In this case, the plaintiffs originally sought to obtain a temporary restraining order and also a preliminary injunction, and the federal district court on review rapidly denied both the TRO and also the injunction. The court issued the denial without even holding a hearing, and then the plaintiff decided to submit an interlocutory appeal up to the Second Circuit. The plaintiff sought for the Second Circuit to find that the prior denial by the district court of the TRO and also the injunction was in fact an error. However, the judge panel in the Second Circuit originally denied their appeal, saying that the court weighed the applicable factors and found that the district court was correct. In response to that original denial, the plaintiff submitted a petition for a writ of cert before judgment from the Supreme Court. This is an interesting mechanism to seek early Supreme Court review of the case. This type of petition invokes the Supreme Court's statutory power to grant review of a case before a lower court actually reaches a final determination. Ultimately, what ended up happening is that the Supreme Court denied the writ of cert before judgment. Instead, what the Supreme Court indicated in some of the other cases is that the Second Circuit needed to decide the appeal quickly. They needed to review the entire issue, and if they didn't, then the plaintiffs there could come back to the Supreme Court and seek a new review. This is all based on the Antonyuk case, which was the GOA-driven case. I will leave links to them below if you want to support GOA. GOA brought a lawsuit to CCIA at large. They challenged the lawsuit at large in the Antonyuk case. It made its way to the Supreme Court on an emergency application. Justice Alito and some of the other judges denied the emergency application, but Alito did write a dissent or an opinion in it, stating that the Second Circuit needed to review all these cases dealing with the CCIA fast, and if they didn't, then of course the parties could come back to the Supreme Court. Now, in March, all 5 cases involving the CCIA, including Gozola, were argued before the Second Circuit. But since then, we've heard almost nothing from the Second Circuit, and there's been no decision. In the meantime, the state of New York has put in place the ammunition background check system, which took effect on September 13th. That fact and the inactivity of the Second Circuit led to the plaintiffs in Gozola once again going up to the Supreme Court seeking an emergency application and emergency relief. The Gozola plaintiffs filed an emergency application for a reversal of the injunction denial, and also they are seeking an emergency stay. What this means is that there is an emergency application from the Supreme Court asking them to halt the New York ammunition background check system that was put in place through the CCIA. The emergency application was originally filed to Justice Sotomayor, who is the justice responsible for hearing emergency applications that come out of the Second Circuit. That emergency application was originally filed on September 11th. The hope was to get the Supreme Court to step in and grant an administrative stay before the law, this ammunition background check system, took effect. Sotomayor, as the justice responsible, had the ability to either grant or deny the application on her own. However, recently and most traditionally, what ends up happening is the justice responsible then referred to a full court for consideration. But interestingly, the next day, Justice Sotomayor denied the application. Now, why this is such a significant issue is because the ammunition background check system is not working at all in New York. There are reports that multiple individuals, police chiefs, judges, a ton of individuals are being denied the background checks in relation to ammunition purchases. So it's not really being effective, and also I believe the system crashed when it initially went up. Now, after Justice Sotomayor denied the application, that then led the Gozola plaintiffs to refile and resubmit the application to Justice Thomas. Under the Supreme Court's rules, once the responsible justice denies the original application, the plaintiffs in the case can then submit it to any justice that they want. And of course, they chose Thomas because he's the one who authored Bruin. And recently, a docket entry popped up indicating that the Supreme Court will in fact hold a conference in this case, and that will take place on October 6th. Now, I will say that it's probably not a great sign that Justice Sotomayor denied the application on her own. Again, the justices will typically refer these requests to the full court. From the docket entry and the set conference, the indication is that Justice Thomas has sent it to the full court for consideration. I will also note that the last emergency application for a stay that went up to the Supreme Court did not go in our way. It was not in our favor. It did not go the first way. Recently, you had the ATF go to the Supreme Court and ask them to stay the decision against the frames and receivers rule in the Vanderstock case. And in that decision, Justice Roberts and Barrett joined the liberal justices to grant the ATF the stay that they were asking for. So recently, the Supreme Court has granted an emergency stay, but it was in favor of the ATF. So I'm not saying that this will 100% be denied, but I am thinking that this is pretty much just a Hail Mary, and the likelihood is that the Supreme Court will continue to deny review on some of these issues until the Second Circuit actually decides those appeals. The Second Circuit has been sitting on those decisions for a very long time, but there are a lot of cases, I believe there's 5 CCIA cases that they're going to decide, so they can kind of lean back on that and saying, hey, that's what's taking us so long. However, if the Supreme Court did grant a stay on this issue, that does bode very well for some of these other cases, especially other ammunition challenges like the Rody v. Bonta case that's taking place in California. Recently, Judge Benitez requested additional information from the parties on the constitutionality of the similar background check system that took place in California. So all that information is being submitted to him. Then he's going to decide that case. But a Supreme Court stay of a similar scheme in New York would pretty much very much help the injunction request that's being sought in California, because the Supreme Court is seeing that the ammunition check system in New York is so bad and so unconstitutional that an administrative stay needs to be granted. That would mean that a similar stay should be granted, or a similar injunction should be granted in California. So now all eyes will be on the Supreme Court to see what they're going to do with this ammunition background check system and this emergency application that's in front of them and is seeking emergency relief. If anything else develops, of course, I will let you all know. Also, if you like this video and you like to support the channel, the best way to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All this is helps to fuel the algorithm, and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and use that to you. As always, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I can ever do. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and never forget the station was built by armed scholars, and the station will be maintained by armed scholars.
Lost the lead. The leader. Gain the lead. Double kill. 5 minutes remaining.
Don't do it, Ron! He's right. I won't. Ron! You're being selfish! No, yeah, I'm not gonna... me! What? I really wanted to kill you, Ron! Wait, what? I hate you so much! I kept putting it off, and I really regret not murdering you! Are you serious? What? Can I just come up there real quick and push you? What? No! Oh, come on, it'll be the same thing! I'm not gonna kill myself!
Wait! Don't do it!
Oh my god.
Ron, you're the reason I wake up in the morning!
Oh, really?
Yeah! Just the thought that someday I might kill you
Wow.
really gets me going! Oh gosh, can you wait here real quick? I need to run to my car and go to the sauna!
No! I don't want to die!
Don't even think about it, Ron!
Oh, let me guess. You want to kill me too, huh?
That's right!
Yeah, 'cause I slept with your dad.
No!
What? No! You had sex with my mom!
Oh, right. I meant your mom.
Kingslayer.
Is my dad gay?
Yes. I mean, look, guys. Clearly, we all have some issues. You've got this whole bloodthirsty vendetta, and the fact that so many people want me dead makes me think I got some stuff to work out, too. I mean, what happened to us? We used to be friends. Look, how about I just come down there and we talk this out together instead of killing each other?
Okay, do it now!
Yeah, no, this is better!
Yeah!
Does this mean I'm gay?
Hey guys, it's Michael. They left.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, it's always awesome to be able to do videos about good news, and I'm in front of the United States Supreme Court to be GBR'd back down. But even the full panel of the Ninth Circuit said, hey, when we're talking about magazines, we are actually talking about bearable arms as contemplated under the Second Amendment. So, of course, the question then becomes, what the hell do we do about this in Washington? Well, both the Duncan case as well as the Baird case was given to Judge Dimke late last week. I have a belief that much of the opinion had already been authored. However, the Baird case does appear in the footnotes and cited here. Duncan, of course, appears nowhere. Now, plaintiff's counsel on this case could move for what's called a motion to reconsider. It has to be filed within 10 days, but that's going to be back before Judge Dimke, which may be akin to throwing rocks at the moon. The more likely move here is that the plaintiffs here are going to immediately appeal to the Ninth Circuit, knowing that the state of California is also appealing Judge Benitez's ruling to the Ninth Circuit. We are hopeful that we will see all of these cases consolidated. What does this mean for us in Washington State?
What is it, Tom?
My brother. I just learned that he was trampled under a horse carriage.
Oh, why, that's terrible. Oh, Tom, I'm so sorry.
Telegram for you, Lord Grantham.
Thank you, Carson.
What is it, Father?
The footmen are all ill.
But who will open our cottage doors for us?
We will be opening our own doors tonight.
Oh, perhaps I could open the doors for you. Oh, Edith, you're only making things worse. Oh, Robert, is there honestly nothing to be done?
I'm afraid not. Oh no. Ireland has fallen under another oppressive ruler. Now my people will be bound in chains and lead a life of slavery.
Did he give any indication as to how long?
It could be years.
Oh no, dear, I was talking about the footmen. Thank you, Carson. Oh!
What is it?
Dinner will be moved back an hour. The entire dinner? Yes, even pre-dinner? Yes, all of it. What about post-dinner? No, that's still on time. Never mind, it's cancelled!
Oh, right.
Oh no! My whole family has been killed! Tough luck, old sport. You'll be okay.
Starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,
1v1 or is it teams?
1.
First recording. Oh no. Oh my god.
Slight chance of rain tonight.
You're so fast. Holy crap. This is kind of amazing.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Bro, I haven't even seen the person. Oh, we got him.
Why must tragedy always find her way to Downton?
Tragedy! My family is dead!
Oh, Tom, there's no point in being overdramatic. We all have to keep our chin up.
Please, no more!
5 minutes remaining.
Damn.
Says we're entering a world war.
Yes, it doesn't say any more about dinner.
What the hell?
Guys, come quick, it's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead. Dana's dead? Has a door now.
What'd she do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana, deep ditch diving?
Maybe.
No! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, dang it.
Guys, come quick, it's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead.
Dana's dead?
Has a doornail.
What'd she do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana deep ditch diving? Wasn't Dana digging Doug's garden?
No, Dylan digged that garden. Guys, come quick, it's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead.
Dana's dead?
That's a doornail.
What'd she do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana deep ditch diving? Wasn't Dana digging Doug's garden?
No, Dylan digged that garden.
Tracking. Tracking.
Oh, so fast.
Boom!
Guys, come quick, it's Dana.
What now?
She's dead.
Dana's dead?
I gotcha. I gotcha. Ah.
Dana deep ditch diving? Wasn't Dana digging Doug's garden?
No, Dylan digs Doug's garden. Dana digs Drake's garden. Yes, but then she went deep ditch diving. I drained the deep ditch, but didn't see Dana.
Dude, don't despair. Dana didn't die deep ditch diving. She was trying to draw a drowsy duck down my dance went down and did it.
I'm sorry. Guys, come quick, it's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead. Dana's dead. The doornail.
What'd she do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana deep ditch diving? Wasn't Dana digging Duck's garden?
No, Dylan digs Duck's garden. Dana digs Drake's garden. Yes, but then she went deep ditch diving. I drained the deep ditch, but didn't see Dana.
Dude! What? Don't you stop!
Now you're getting it, Adam.
Victory.
Guys, go quick, it's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead.
Dana's dead?
As a doornail.
What'd you do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana deep ditch diving? Wasn't Dana digging Doug's garden?
No.
Okay, I think
Dylan
that's
digs
enough
Doug's
of that.
garden. Dana digs Drake's garden. Yes, but then she went deep ditch diving. I drained the deep ditch but didn't see Dana.
Dudes, don't despair. Dana didn't die deep ditch diving. She was trying to draw drowsy ducks down by Dairy Queen downing a dilly bar in Dodge Dakota.
Dana drawing drowsy ducks? Did she do drugs?
I doubt it was Dana. She doesn't do well down in ducks. Guys, come quick, it's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead.
Dana's dead?
As a doornail.
What'd she do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana deep ditch diving? Let's see dude's drugs. I can't eat anymore of these things. I'm sorry.
Guys, come quick. It's Dana.
What happened?
She's dead. Dana's dead as a doornail.
What did she do?
She was diving into a deep ditch and did a double flip.
Dana deep ditch diving? Wasn't Dana digging Doug's garden?
No, Dylan digs Doug's garden. Dana digs Drake's garden. Yes, but then she went deep ditch diving. I drained the deep ditch but didn't see Dana.
Dudes, don't despair. Dana didn't die deep ditch diving. She was trying to draw drowsy ducks down by Dairy Queen downing a dilly bar in Dodge Dakota.
Dana drawing drowsy ducks? Did she do drugs?
I doubt it was Dana. She doesn't do well down at Dairy. Or trying drowsy ducks.
Dude, don't you dare doubt me like that.
Dana!
Dana!
Hey, guys.
Dana! Oh, after you did drugs and deep ditch dove, I drained the deep ditch, didn't see you, decided you died deep ditch diving, but a Dodge Dakota and a dilly bar were driving by DQ, but I doubt it, because don't you dislike downing dairy and drawing drowsy ducks?
Game starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Domination. Lost the lead. Seems secure.
Cause you light up my mind, and the moon and the trees and space, and the clouds and apples and the heavens up above, and on goes the moon. I love everything that you bring. Hey guys, sorry,
Secure.
am I interrupting?
Losing seed.
Sort of. Okay, sorry.
Like I was saying, I love everything that you bring. Your face, it's a miracle.
Sing
It makes
secure.
my heart sing. I hope that you know
Losing beat.
that I love is like
5 minutes
special
remaining.
friend.
You wanna get burritos? I love your face and your hair and your muscles. Your brain is good too. What the heck rhymes with muscles? Now, is there anywhere else you can be? I see how it is. Sorry, I'll leave you two alone. Speaking of alone, that's what I.
A lost. Losing seed. C lost. B secure.
Well, Henry Jones. My name is M with
C secure.
N.
Losing
N.
A.
N. N. probably noticed me in the periodical section of the Hillsborough Library.
Actually, no.
May I come in?
Secure.
Your home is exquisite.
Thank you.
Is this your family?
Yeah.
Losing C.
Children.
Losing B. C. Lost.
And your wife?
B. Lost. Lost the lead.
Life can be difficult when you find paradise lost.
B. Secure.
Yeah, I guess so.
You must find yourself putting on a red badge of courage.
Are you here to sell me something, or?
Well, aren't you a curious George? Yes, you're probably wondering, why is this librarian in my house? Or more accurately, you're thinking, wow. And I thought all librarians were plain Jane.
No, actually.
Kingslayer. Losing C. A.
Okay, what do
secure.
you want?
Calm your passions for a
Gain the
moment.
lead. Losing
And I will tell you.
B. Lost.
Yes,
C.
we just
Lost.
noticed that your library card
The
was
leader.
close to
Lost the
expiring.
lead.
You guys check up on that?
Yes, we're very
C.
thorough.
Secure.
Okay. Well, I will make sure it renews that.
You know, Henry, it's perfectly natural to feel lonely.
Losing C.
You mustn't need to hide your telltale heart.
Lost. Lost the lead.
Corduroy.
Thank you for
Losing
coming
A.
and.
Don't
secure.
despair, Henry.
A. Lost.
I have expectations for you.
Thank you, Anne.
Yes. Oh, I look forward to your return to the treasure trove of texts.
Thank you, Anne.
C. Secure. Losing B. 1 minute remaining.
Got
B. Lost.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. Mostly a kind soul. Yes. Ta-ta.
Losing C. Kingslayer.
Peekaboo.
A. Secure. C. Lost. B. Secure.
Into my crib.
I had the chance to spend a few hours with the new active pedals and tweak all of the different settings with the developers and see the full potential of this product. And in this video, I will share with you how they feel, what can be the benefits from getting some feedback from the pedals, and do I believe they can make me faster, or
Cast IRL will be live in Miami with Patrick Bet David, Donald Trump Jr., Matt Gaetz, and Luke Rudkowski. Join us there. Get your tickets by clicking the link in the description below or by going to timcast.com.
Every once in a while, you'll be somewhere and you'll see there's one house on the block that is like, I don't care, I'm putting up my political signs. And they're typically 45 pro-Trump signs. There's this one house that I pass in the area that'll have this flag of like Trump standing over eagles and like, you know, he's like, just like a caricature. But there's no equivalent for Joe Biden. There is maybe vote Joe Biden because you like the Democrats, but there's not this same sort of belief in his capabilities, in my opinion.
And I think that's just because people voted for Joe Biden because they wanted to get Trump out. He was the anti-Trump guy. They weren't necessarily so gung-ho about Biden. They just didn't like Trump that much that they would vote for Biden to get Trump out. So they're not incentivized to wave the Biden flags or buy some Biden merch in the same way that pro-Trump voters were.
They're definitely not super fans. They're not like the Trump base, that's for sure.
Right. Even like I remember there was a lot of Obama merch back in the day.
And
He had mad hype.
Hillary Clinton, she had a bunch of stuff.
I'm
I
with
used to see
her.
her H's all everywhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, Joe Biden's just never captured that attention any of the times he's run for president.
If you live in a neighborhood where people feel safe and comfortable to put up political signage of different diverse views, consider yourself quite fortunate. Coming from Portland, Oregon, if you didn't even, if you expressed any type of dissenting views, your property would be highly likely subjected to violence or potentially even serious violence like arson or such.
Well,
So-
let me pull up the story real quick. Just put a pin in that. We have this from the Post Millennial. Leader in Richmond Democrat Party group posted bomb threat against Andy No Virginia talk. The post included an image of dynamite with Jarvis writing in the description box, "On my way to the Andy No event." So you've experienced this stuff. I think everyone knows directly covering the extremism. Do you want to elaborate on what you were talking about?
Well, because the left has cultural dominance, and they face no censure or no social consequences for expressing radical and hateful extremist beliefs. They're able to push it further and further to the point where you can have somebody who's, I mean, we're not talking about somebody who's in Black Bloc, Antifa type of groups, somebody who's in a leadership role in the Richmond City Democratic Committee, which is the official Democrat Party group in Richmond, Virginia, feeling confident and fine to put this type of posts publicly. And going back to what I was just saying a moment ago, those leftists who feel empowered to go and destroy people's properties because they're expressing a different political view. So, my heart is warm just to hear Claire just talk briefly about, the different type of political signs that she's seen in places she lives. Don't take that for granted. If you're an American who lives in one of those places, consider yourself lucky, because there are places like Portland, Seattle, obviously different boroughs of New York, where you are potentially put yourself and your family at risk for expressing a mainstream political view.
Well, and they had that guy whose biker neighbor went and lit his Trump sign on fire. I mean, there are places that people do feel entitled to.
Well, they were neighbors. Kind of
I just meant that he biked in the area. I think it's interesting. One of the things that you were saying reminds me of in your book, you talked about how people, especially progressive groups, will travel to small towns and set up coffee shops or bookstores and sort of become very visible in that sense, and that becomes sort of how they begin to have influence and control areas. So there are times that people are expressing their views because they are relying on the tolerance and the community's ability to welcome them, even if they don't agree with them, and then they become sort of a destructive force in and of themselves.
Oh yeah, we see this phenomenon all the time. People who adhere to a certain principle of tolerance, and then the other side gains power, and that is not reciprocated back onto them, and they suffer as a result. And conservatives experience that a lot, right? We want to welcome and protect all views of expression, but then you have those who are calling for an overturning of the entire system and a totalitarian system where people are subjected to violence, potentially death for their views. And I mean, I'm not saying that's manifested in real life necessarily anywhere in the US, but there's certain pockets where those type of sentiments are salient to a population, and they're able to cause so much violence and destruction on those around them, and the victims just have no ability to counter. So I was speaking in Richmond because Richmond is a city that has experienced over the years a really radical cultural shift to the left. I think a lot of that has to do with the university there, the Virginia Commonwealth University. They had months of riots in 2020 like Portland, and a lot of the same parallels between Portland and Virginia I documented and explored in the speech. You have so elected local officials, the mayor, or those on city council, condoning the riots, even going out to some of those protests turned riots to participate and give them support. You have police whose ability to actually enforce the law is curtailed by the local politicians, and then you have outside agitators coming in without a lot of money, and it just creates, I mean, a lot of destabilization. I think one of the questions I was asked when I spoke on Friday was, like, could this happen again? And I say, well, yes, obviously, because the networks that were strengthened and established in 2020 are not only still there, they're strong now. And there might be a bit of protest and riot fatigue today, but just give it a bit of time and there will be some other George Floyd type moment that's caught on video, clipped, exploited, and blasted on social media. And it'll get people to the streets.
Well, 2024 is around the corner. It is about that time.
Yeah. No.
Right? 2020, BLM, George Floyd, election year. 2024, this next summer.
But Richmond doesn't have any more monuments to pull down. What are they going to do?
Richmond. It could be literally anywhere. And the issue is the media lies. So let's say let's say something like this. 2024, and there's like some dude working in his garage in the suburbs of, I don't know, somewhere, let's say Youngstown, Ohio. And then some dude sneaks into his garage and, say, grabs a power tool case, $200, and runs for it. And this guy's been known to the neighborhood, so the dude calls the police. The guy's neighbor confronts the guy and grabs him and stops him, and they fight over the tool. And then the dude who is stealing it, you know, falls down, hits his head, and dies. The media will report that 2 white men approached a man who was walking down the street, a black man, and they mercilessly beat him to death. And then you'll get your riots. And then a month later, the video will be released from their Ring security camera showing the guy robbing the house, and it'll be just like Ahmaud Arbery. And they will find any story they can to create a racially charged atmosphere that will result in riots. And then they'll use that to claim racism or whatever. And then the people who are correctly calling out this story does not, you know, follow that line. They'll say, aha, they're racist, disprove it, don't vote for Republicans, et cetera, et cetera.
Did you guys see the story? It was kind of inverse to that. Of course, it didn't get coverage because the victim was white, but I guess these 2 black dudes pulled up to a basketball court and they got into a fight with a white guy. Black dude hits the white guy, and white guy falls on his head, dies. They went to trial, beat an involuntary manslaughter charge, and were only convicted of assault.
There you go.
Ridiculous.
Yep. What's going to happen in 2024 is they don't need there to be an actual instance of like racism or violence. The media will just make it up. Garage pull rope, it's a news.
Well, Trump being the Republican nominee just that would get people out. I mean, in 2015 and early 2016, that was such a powerful propaganda to war Antifa, because, you know, before their messaging, extremist messaging comes out through their pamphlets and texts and their blogs.
We'll help you.
Who are you?
We're the different parts of your psyche.
Yeah, and you're the only one who can see us. See? Throw this wrench.
What?
Ow! What is your problem?
It slipped.
Oh.
How did you make me do that?
I'm your impulsive side.
Wait, there's a girl in my brain?
I'm what you imagine to be your feminine side. I'm the one who makes you eat when you're sad and dance whenever you hear Katy Perry.
Hey, don't tell that to the other parts of my brain.
Sorry.
And why is the Monopoly man here?
He's your belligerent side.
Yeah, but why the Monopoly man?
It's your head. You tell us. And I'm your cool side.
My brain?
You're and you're the only one who can see us. See? Throw this wrench.
What?
Ow! What is your problem?
It slipped.
Oh.
How did you make me do that?
I'm your impulsive side.
Wait, there's a girl in my brain?
I'm what you imagine to be your feminine side. I'm the one who makes you eat when you're sad and dance whenever you hear Katy Perry.
Hey, don't tell that to the other parts of my brain.
Sorry.
And why is the Monopoly man here?
Go to jail, you commies.
He's your belligerent side.
Yeah, but why the Monopoly man?
It's your head. You tell us. And I'm your cool side. Cool. But I'm only cool inside your head. My idea is I'm cool back.
nobody really listens to me.
Get out of here, practicality!
Oh, come on!
There's no place for you in the male mind.
Okay. Guys, I just need a pickup line. Girl, what do you think?
Okay, you go up to her and you tell her that you think she is a slammin' hottie and that her brain is useless.
What? No, a girl's not gonna like that.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm not a real girl. I'm just your man brain pretending to be a girl to compensate for your lack of understanding of women, brah!
Blasted women, they slow the economy with their hair dryers and leg warmers.
No, I can do this. What do girls like? They like sparkles and...
Okay, you're useless and impulsive dude. Any ideas?
Yeah, touch your hair.
What? Ooh. How do you make me do that?
I'm your impulses. Do a little dance.
What?
Slap
No.
yourself in the face.
Oh.
Lick this battery.
Okay, no, you cannot make me do that.
Good boy. Take a cookie.
Are you stealing that?
No.
Get a haircut, hippie.
Hey, guys, we're getting distracted. Back to the girl.
Okay, you know what you do? You're gonna walk up to that girl and you're gonna say, son, stars in the sky. Hey, baby, hey, what you want?
Well, that does sound really cool in my head.
Right?
Don't say it, okay? It'll sound terrible when it comes out of your mouth.
Shut it, woman.
I'm not a woman, dude.
Shut it, dude. Woman, what is she?
I don't know.
Okay, fine. How about this taste of truth? Say, your eyes are. She'll love it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rip open your shirt and run to her.
Yeah. Dang it, impulsive.
Take her to Park Place and tell her she's fat.
Okay, shut up, all of you. I'm just gonna think of something on my feet, okay? Hey, whoa.
Hi.
Sun and moon and stars in the sky. Hey, baby, hey, what you want?
Let's go get pancakes.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go get pancakes.
Hey guys, welcome back to that video. Click here. Watch more. So much more every day, all day. Maybe not all day, but at least every Monday. You can come watch the show and watch them here again and enjoy yourself.
Hi, guys. Welcome to our compilation of friendship sketches.
Best friend sketches. The sketches where we're all like together and being like doing friend stuff.
That friends would do. Or
Yeah.
so we're told.
Yeah.
In our research about friends, this is the activities they engage in.
Right.
And so we wrote it and performed it for you.
Enjoy.
All right, here we go.
Okay, sir, we'll get those upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Did you see how he handed me those papers like I'm some filing cabinet on legs?
Lacey, if I'm sent to get one more breakfast like some Golden Grams retriever, I'm gonna lose it.
No. You know what? We run this business. We could easily sabotage it. Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, of course. What is it?
Best comic book adaptation to film, hands down,
So,
no
like,
argument.
See you later, girls. All right.
Oh yeah.
I know I'm in the minority here, but I don't really like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. I don't. I really just feel like they're overrated.
Okay.
Well, that's just an opinion. You see, that's why I prefaced it by saying I know I'm in the minority.
Awkward.
You know what? No, not really. It's not awkward. At least not until you said awkward. Now it's awkward because of what you said.
Anyway.
Anyway, what? Anyway, what? Really? Because when you say anyway, then you have to follow it up with an actual contribution to the conversation we're having.
Yikes.
No, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. There's no yikes, and the reason why there's no yikes is because there's nothing scary about this situation, okay? It's a very late-stage situation. No, not all right. Come here. No, don't look at him. Don't look at either of those guys. Look at me, all right? All right, what?
Morning.
Is there a crisis at our southern border?
Senator, there is a very significant...
That's a yes or no question.
There's a very significant...
Is there a crisis?
Senator, there's a very significant challenge...
I think your microphone is not on.
There is a very significant challenge that we are facing.
Yes or no,
at the
is
southern
there a
border.
crisis?
I believe I've addressed that question.
So you're refusing to answer?
Senator, there is a very significant challenge, and
will
we
you
are
answer if there's a
therefore-
crisis?
Therefore, we are dedicating the resources...
Okay, so you're refusing
that
to
we-
answer. Well, Secretary Mayorkas, I'll tell you someone who is willing to answer, which is your and President Biden's chief of the Border Patrol in a sworn deposition in July of 2022 when asked, would you agree, Chief Ortiz, that the southern border is currently in crisis? Answer, yes. Notice none of those wiggle words, none of that equivocation. One word, one syllable, yes. Are you willing to speak with the same clarity as Chief Ortiz? Is there a crisis at our southern border, yes or no?
Senator, I'm very proud to work alongside...
So you refuse to
support-
answer. Let me ask you the next question. Has the crisis at our southern border made Americans less safe, yes or no?
Senator, we are dedicated to the safety
Has the
and
crisis
security
made Americans
of-
less safe? I don't want a discourse. It's a yes or no question.
Senator, we have a challenge...
You refuse to answer the question.
Not...
Mr. Secretary, let me show you how someone doing his job answers a question in a straightforward manner. Chief Ortiz, is the crisis that is currently ongoing at the southern border making the border less safe for Americans and aliens alike? Answer, yes. One word, one syllable, 3 letters. That's how someone answers a question and does their job. You're being a politician misleading the American people. Let me give you a chance again. Will you show the same integrity Chief Ortiz shows? Is the crisis at the southern border making Americans less safe? Yes or no?
Senator, we have 260,000...
You refuse to answer the question. Let's move on. Next question, Mr. Mayorkas. Has the crisis made aliens less safe? Yes or no? So you won't answer that question either. It's a yes or no. Has it made aliens less safe?
Senator, smugglers are...
Has the crisis made aliens, yes, less safe? Are you willing to answer it?
Senator, smuggling organizations...
Okay, you're filibustering again. Let me ask you this question. How many migrants have died under President Biden?
Senator, your phrasing of the question is actually quite
How many migrants died in 2022?
At our approaching our southern border?
Yes.
Precisely why.
So do you know the answer? Do you know how many died?
I do not.
You do not. Of course you don't. I know how many died. 853. 853. And by the way, here are the numbers that have died every year. You go back to 1998, you see it's consistently between 300 and 400, 300, 400, 300, 400. Suddenly, 2021, what happens? You get in office, and that red line are dead bodies. I've been on the Rio Grande, and I've seen dead bodies floating there who drowned because of your refusal to do your job. You don't even know how many have died. What do you say to the Texas farmers and ranchers who find pregnant ladies dead on their property, who find toddlers dead on their property? What do you say to them?
I say that is why, precisely, we are taking it to the smuggling organizations.
But you are not. That is simply not true. Let me read from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal 2 weeks ago ran an article entitled, "It's like a graveyard. Record numbers of migrants are dying at the border." The story begins with this chilling line, quote, Eagle Pass, Texas. Local officials keep a refrigerated truck to hold the bodies of migrants who drown in the currents of the Rio Grande while trying to cross the border into the U.S. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent that this article be entered into the record. Let me ask you a different question. How many children have been sexually assaulted by human traffickers under the Biden administration?
Precisely why.
I don't want a lecture. It's a question. How many children have been sexually assaulted by human traffickers under your administration?
Senator, this is exactly why on January 5th...
Do you know how many? Do you know how many children have been sexually assaulted?
This is why...
Okay, you're going to refuse to answer that question as well. Let's move on. It's obvious you've been instructed to stonewall. So I'm not going to let you. You don't get to stonewall and filibuster. Now, one of my Democratic colleagues before said the Democrat talking point. This problem didn't start under Biden. Look, I get if you're a partisan spinner, you got to figure out something to say about the absolute catastrophe that has played out under the Biden administration. True or false, Secretary Mayorkas, 2020 was the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. Is that true or false?
It is certainly the lowest level of immigration.
I still need enemy portals, goddammit.
Was it, Senator, in 2020 that impacted the entire world, including the United States?
Okay, so your testimony is the reason we had the lowest rate was COVID. It had nothing to do with building the wall, nothing to do with any catch and release, nothing to do with Remain in Mexico. With all respect, Mr. Secretary, that answer is laughable. And in fact, if you look at illegal immigration, let's look at CBP encounters. You can see 500,000, 500,000, it drops to the lowest level, and boom, what happens? You show up. And that red line is you. That red line is Joe Biden. And you're claiming nothing happened. Oh, God, this was here before us. No, you made the decision to allow this to happen. Let me ask you, we now have over 5.5 million people who've entered this country illegally under Joe Biden. How many murderers have you released into America?
Senator, I'm not aware of any murder.
So you don't know?
Senator, let me say something.
Do you know?
If you take a look at...
No, you don't get to give a speech. Do you know how many murderers you've released?
I'm just trying to answer your question.
How many rapists have you released?
Senator,
do you know? You can answer, I know or I don't know.
Senator, any individual who poses a public safety threat...
How many child molesters have you released?
...and removed into the United States, from the United States.
So your testimony under oath, subject to perjury, is that you have not released any murderers, rapists, or child molesters among the 5.5 million. Is that your testimony?
Mr. Chairman, may I have the opportunity?
No, you may not. You may answer my question.
You're not.
Is that your testimony, yes or no?
Senator, you're not allowing me to answer.
I am allowing you to answer. I'm not allowing you to filibuster.
If you take a look at the pace of immigration in 2018 to 2019...
You're refusing to answer. Let's move on. Let's move on to gotaways. Gotaways are the people that get away that you know about. Now, what happened under your administration? Gotaways consistently down at this low line. Boom, you get in. And they go from below 180,000 to 600,000. Now, I'll tell you this about a gotaway. You don't know, among those 600,000 a year, you have no idea how many are murderers, correct?
That is precisely why the
correct?
number of gotaways...
Do you know how many of those are murderers?
That is precisely
So you
why...
refuse to answer the question. You know how many are rapists? Do you know how many are rapists? This is a question. You're a lawyer. You know how to answer questions. Of the 600,000, do you know how many of them were rapists?
Senator, this is why
So again, the answer is no. Let me ask you this. Do you know how many of them are terrorists? And I don't want to... Senator, here's my lecture on this. Do you know how many of the 600,000 gotaways were terrorists? Yes or no?
Senator, we are focused on the...
You refuse to answer that as well.
Game starts in...
What's the result
5, 4, 3,
of massive gotaways? Well, one of the results is drug overdoses. And we now have, last year, over 100,000 overdoses. Who died, the majority from Chinese fentanyl streaming across the border. Now, you told Senator Cornyn you care, but look what has happened under your policy. When you open up the border to the worst illegal immigration in our nation's history, people die. You claim you care. Mr. Secretary, that is a lie. You know, some months ago, Karine Jean-Pierre stood up at a White House briefing and said, people are not just walking across the border. Was she telling the truth?
Senator, you are...
Was she telling the truth? Was she telling the truth?
22 years.
Okay, you get to answer questions. You don't get to give speeches.
Senator, I served...
All right, you're refusing to answer. If you look at, she was lying. And she was not lying on her own. She was lying on behalf of the President of the United States. She was lying on behalf of the President of the United States. This is a photograph from just one day along the Rio Grande of hundreds of thousands of people walking across the border. You have allowed this to happen. The photograph that was before.
I don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are. Mr. Secretary, you have just testified to the American people you're not doing your job. Because I've been to the southern border. If you go to the southern border, along cartels into multi-billion-dollar criminal organizations, and these are modern-day leg irons, because these are children being sold into sex slavery, and you don't even know what they are. That is astonishing. Mr. Secretary, children have been sold into sex slavery under your administration.
Senator, we are taking it to the cartel.
How many children have been sold into sex slavery? Do you know how many children have been sold into sex slavery? Mr. Secretary, I want to say to you right now, your behavior is disgraceful, and the deaths, the children assaulted, the children raped, they are at your feet, and if you had integrity, you would resign. And I will tell you, the men and women of the Border Patrol, they've never had a political leader undermine them. They despise you, Mr. Secretary, because you're willing to let children be raped to follow political orders. This is a crisis, it's a disgrace, and you won't even admit this human tragedy is a crisis.
Claiming 1 minute chairman time.
Lost the lead.
Look at that. Oh, so Mal found this new app that matches your face with the Disney character.
Lost the lead.
Nailed it.
Lost the lead.
It's not just the face, Steven. It's how you carry yourself.
Tied the leader.
It takes a certain,
Oh, I'm Ariel. I mean, long red hair. Anytime I do anything, it's a little more Quasimodo. What? That can't be right.
Kingslayer. Gain the lead.
It's a fluke, right? Guys. I mean, it's probably just because of, like, he has red hair. Maybe because I have a hood on.
Right there. Did you guys see it?
Oh my gosh, Quasimodo.
What? Not like all the time.
Just when you say something, you know, really expressive.
Or unexpressively.
Or when you're just sitting there.
Guys, come on. Why wouldn't you have told me?
well, we didn't know before this astonishingly accurate.
Hey, this app is garbage. Disney characters are animated. They don't have any real features. Find a celebrity FaceTime. Just do it. Yeah, it's okay.
You're like our most attractive friend, like 86% of the time.
86%?
Well, the more you're talking, the more I'm seeing the Quasimodo thing.
Picture taken. And I promise you, it's gonna be Bryce Dallas Howard or Jessica Chastain.
It just shows Charles Lott,
Okay, who's that?
the original actor who played Quasimodo.
Okay.
Come on!
Like that, it's totally okay to be like Quasimodo, all right? He's like giving and nice.
They're all qualities of ugly people.
But he's so brave. Remember when he ripped off those chains and he saved Esmeralda? Ooh, I just got Esmeralda.
Oh, get it. I totally see that. Get it.
I can see that. 100%.
It's probably because I just went tanning.
The headscarf thing. Yeah, the heads.
And because it's
All right, one more match and then I'm done for the night.
I don't know what kind of back alley apps you guys are using, but I am not Quasimodo.
It's a normal app.
Oh, here, let's do that Google Arts and Culture one, okay? There's no stupid movies in that one, right? Here we go. Ugh, okay. One more time. No! Ugh. Ugh. In the last scene of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Shh. Be still, Quas.
You're just recreating the last... Wait! You're just recreating the last scene of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Shh. Be still, Quasi.
Hold'em poker. We're down to our final four now, and the stakes have never been higher. No player is giving anything away. Faces so still, they may as well be carved from stone.
All right, Jason, you got this. And when you win, you can finally afford to buy that kidney you need.
They can't read you at all. You're a sphinx.
You are smooth like the wind. I have no idea how to play this game. I should have been out a long, long time ago, but I keep winning.
I can't take the stress!
And starting with the flop, we've got the king and queen of spades and the ace of diamonds.
Nothing again? I'm sick of waiting for a good hand. Time to bluff my way to victory.
10,000.
Oh my! Well, Jason Gray comes out swinging. What can possibly be going through everyone's head right now?
Sandwiches.
Nothing but calm calculation down there. Let's see what they do.
Call?
Keep it together. You're calm, like the wind.
Call.
What does call even mean? I am literally just doing what the person before me does.
Keep it together, Jeremy. Make your mustache proud.
Call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a poker game on our hands. Now here comes the turn with the king of hearts.
Okay, the bluff didn't work. Time to bail. How can I just throw away $10,000? No, I need this. Time to scare the children away.
50,000.
Oh my goodness, this is really heating up. But look at those faces. Complete calm.
You wanna play? You wanna mess with this? I am fierce, like the wind.
Okay, she put in 6 red circles and 2 blue ones. So...
Call. Call.
What am I doing? I have a 2 and a 7. That's not good.
River. Looks like the king of diamonds. Oh my, could be a big game changer right there.
No! Just fold, you fools! I need that candy!
Lost the lead.
All in.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line. How do these players deal with the tension?
You wanna dance, Jason? I'm about to get crazy up in here, like the wind. All in.
Tied the leader.
You thought you wouldn't do it, didn't you? Look at me in the eyes, you dirty comic. Yeah, that's right. If I lose this tournament, I'm gonna find you and break your knees, like the wind.
Bye-bye.
All in?
Look at all those circles. I wonder what they mean.
Fold, Jeremy! Fold now! And cut your losses!
All in.
5
What
minutes
are you
remaining.
doing?
Tied the leader.
This is it. Now it's time to see which of these players walks away with $1 million. Jason will close first. A 6 and a 7. Okay. Looks like he was making a bluff that clearly backfired. Gotta wonder what he must be thinking right now.
Tied the leader.
Mallory to show next. And she has a pair of queens, so full house for her. Great hand.
I've been touched by the gods!
Still hasn't shown his cards. He's just sitting stone-faced. It seems as though... Oh, wait, we're getting word from the dealer that... Yes, okay. Jeremy is in fact dead. And finally, Matt. Okay, it looks like Matt was somehow playing with Uno cards.
Just to alert the members, and Senator Cruz is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, welcome. As you know, as I observed in the confirmation hearing, you had built a long record on the Federal Court of Appeals and a reputation of being relatively nonpartisan. And And so I had hoped that your tenure as Attorney General would continue that. I have to say I'm deeply disappointed in what the last 2 years
I've been touched by the gods.
In my judgment, the Department of Justice has been politicized to the greatest extent I've ever seen it. And it has done a discredit to the Department of Justice, to the FBI, and to the administration of law in this country. Let me start with a simple question. General Garland, is it a federal crime to protest outside of a judge's home with the intent of influencing that judge in a pending case?
The answer to that is yes, but I also want to at least respond to your characterization of the department, which I vigorously disagree with. I believe the men and women of the department pursue their work every single day in a nonpartisan.
General Garland, there are thousands of men and women who do that, and I'll tell you, I hear from prosecutors at the Department of Justice, I hear from agents of the FBI who are angry that it is treated as the enforcement arm of the DNC instead of upholding the law in fair and independent manner. So you are right. There are thousands of men and women that are doing the job, but it is the political leadership that you're responsible for. So you just said, yes, it's a crime to protest at the home of a judge. Same goes for jurors, by the way, with the intent of influencing a case. But in the wake of the leak of the Dobbs decision, when rioters descended on the homes of 6 Supreme Court justices, night after night after night, you did nothing. The department did nothing. When extremist groups like Ruth Sent Us and Jane's Revenge openly organized campaigns of harassment at the homes of justices, you sat on your hands. When these same groups posted online information about where the justices worship, or their home addresses, or where their kids went to school, you again sat on your hands and did nothing. Your failure to act to protect the safety of the justices and their families was an obvious product of political bias. You agree with Roe versus Wade, you disagree with the Dobbs decision, and the Department of Justice under this president was perfectly happy to refuse to enforce the law and allow threats of violence. And as you know, those threats finally materialized with Nicholas Roski, a 26-year-old man from California who traveled across the country, was arrested outside the home of Justice Kavanaugh, armed with a handgun, a knife, and burglary tools. And he said he came there to kill Justice Kavanaugh because he was enraged by the leaked opinion. Now, of course, you're prosecuting that individual for attempted murder, but did you bring even a single case to enforce this law, or did the Department of Justice decide this law doesn't apply if it's harassing justices for an opinion we don't like?
When the Dobbs draft was leaked, I did something no Attorney General in the history of the department had ever done before. For the first time in history, I ordered United States Marshals 24/7 to defend every residence of every justice.
Well, Garland, as a judge, you're familiar with asking counsel to answer a question.
I am answering.
Has the Department of Justice enforced this statute? Have you brought a single case against any of these protesters threatening the judge?
I'm done for the night. I will